Alright, looks like I might get caught in some rain here. Leaving Santa Ana, I was kicking it with Mr. Warbeard and Chuckster, and just trying to make it back home before it rains on me. Since I got everything running, I might as well say I had a blast out in, at SEMM in Palm Springs. It was so awesome. Got to kick it with some of my old friends. Got to meet some new friends. A lot of fun. I just wish, I mean, I was having too much fun, really. If I wasn't, I would have been able to pick up a camera or a cell phone and actually record more. I don't think I have enough material to even put together like anything decent, but we'll see. I'll try to see if I can get something done. But in the meantime, I'm gonna tell you a story about my new bike. This is a 2016 Suzuki Boulevard m109r, the B.O.S.S edition. It's the same year as the Kawasaki ZX14 that I had. And the reason I got rid of the 14, I just didn't fit on the damn thing, you know? I really wasn't all that comfortable. And I've sat on that same bike with mods, like, you know, the foot pegs lowered, the handlebars raised, and I still wasn't all that comfortable on it. And I'm a cruiser, it's what I do. Me and the homies, we're not up in the canyons, we're not, you know, doing track days. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not that kind of rider, and neither are the friends that I ride with. We usually go cruising around, you know. So it just seemed kind of stupid that I had this bike that was meant to go almost 200 miles per hour in Los Angeles traffic. Where am I going to do that? I mean, this is the kind of shit I'm looking at every day. And I had many people tell me, man, you make that bike look small. I'm going to make damn near anything look small because I'm a giant, you know? And I cannot stress the importance of finding anything when you're a giant that fits you. When you do, it's like time for a parade. I mean, my shoe size has pretty much matched my age since I was from the age of 10 to 16. Thank God it stopped there. So I was never, or could never be like a sneakerhead or, you know, one of these people that's obsessed with shoes. You know, I can't. I go into a store and I say, what's the biggest shoe you got? And almost none of them say 16. And when they do say 16, they got one pair. Some people can special order shoes for you. Of course, it's going to be like double the price. And speaking of which, I just found this website. For anybody who's got like large feet like myself, there's a website called, I believe it's called Oddball. Oddball.com. That's nice, right? Oddball. If I'm wrong, either way, I'll put the link up so y'all can see it. For you big-footed gentlemen. But I finally like found a place where I can find, you know, nice shoes, you know, instead of just that one brand, you know. You go into Marshall's or Nordstrom Rack, go all the way to the very back of the store, against the wall where the shoes are. And at the very end, you see the ridiculously large shoes, and you might find one in a size 16. Chances are it's ugly as fuck. like green and orange camouflage or some shit, right? And it's always a high top, you know? I mean, the last car I bought had nothing to do with reliability, style, performance, none of that shit. I got on Google and pretty much just Googled what car has the most leg space. That's how I chose my car. And that's how I chose my bike. You know, I wanted a sports bike. What's the biggest one they have? Suzuki Hayabusa and Kawasaki's ZX14. And neither one of them really fit me all that well. On YouTube, and they were talking about how their dad is really tall, about 6'7", like myself. And he sat on this bike and fell in love with it. So I had to do some research, right? Googling, trying to find the thing on YouTube. So I found a couple places that had it, and the price wasn't right. Then I ended up finding a really good deal in Riverside. This place called Malcolm Smith Motorsports. Highly recommend them. I'm not you know, endorsed by them in any way, but they just did me right. I got no complaints. Damn, this thing can move. It can't move like a ZX14 before a fucking cruiser. This thing is dope. And there were a couple people that were like, man, of course they were people that rode sports bikes. Don't get rid of your sport bike, man. Don't do that. Keep the sports bike and then buy the cruiser. That way you'll have both. I've had like 5 people tell me this. But if I did that, I'd have a sports bike just sitting around that I wasn't riding, so why keep it? And when you're, you know, cruising around like I do, we're riding around for hours, you know. I got some of my friends that are talking about doing some long distance riding this year and next year. Last thing I want to do is be on that 14. I'll show you a picture of that too. I was ridiculously big on that damn thing. I made a really big motorcycle look really small, and I felt it every time I got off the damn thing at the end of the day or the end of the night. Legs, hips, back, everything's hurt. I ride the same amount on this bike, nothing aches, nothing. And I have the same amount of fun I had when I was on the other bike. So it just goes to show you, you gotta find out what's right for you. Maybe you don't know right away. I mean, I'm somebody that says that, you know, I don't necessarily believe in a starter bike. You should get what you want, but sometimes you get what you want and without really knowing what you want. I thought the 14 was my bike. I thought that was it. And then I sat on this thing. Some of my homies rode out to the dealership with me, and I sat on this thing, and I'm telling you, it took everything in me not to start crying. Like a bitch, for real. I'm like, man, it's a good thing I got my homies here to keep me from just balling out here. Get the little saleswoman looking at me like, what the fuck is this big black dude crying about? I found something that fit. I'm so happy with this bike. I rode it out to SEMM. I'm not going to get into like the specs and, you know, about it being a V-twin and almost 1800 cc's. Hey, who cares about how much torque it's got? It's a badass bike, dog. Fell in love with this thing. I love this bike. And again, not ZX14 fast, but I can get the fuck out of Dodge, you know what I'm saying? She can move. And I get so many compliments on the thing. The one thing I heard about the 14 all the time was, man, you make that bike look small. The one thing I hear about this bike all the time is, that's a beautiful bike. Man, you look really good on that bike. What is it? What kind of bike is it? And I tell them, and they're like, Suzuki makes a bike that big? There's a Japanese manufacturer that's making a cruiser that damn big for real? Anyway, I just thought I'd share with you real quick the reason why I got this thing. It's just gorgeous. It feels really good. I think that's all I got for you right now. But I'm going to describe, I think I got one more video where I just kind of describe why this bike is just the best bike in the world. 5 reasons why the Suzuki Boulevard m109r B.O.S. edition is the best bike ever. And then I'm going to see if I can put something together about SEMM. All that should be coming out within the next, at least the next week. I'm gonna try to force myself to get something done this week. And as always, it's so important to find something you love to do, people. Find something you love to do. Do it as much as you possibly can. And if you really want to be a boss, turn that thing that you love to do into a job, and you'll never work another day in your life. For your own mental health. This is Psych Nurse Chris.